You know, Jhala is a legend. Yep. Thanks for watching this analysis, and of course, keep on brawling. Now, of course, I'm just kidding, but I really don't have a lot to say about Jhala. I don't enjoy her that much. In fact, she might be in my top 10 least favorite legends to play. She was maybe level 20, 21 on console, and only level 14, 16 on PC currently. She just doesn't feel all that great to use. Of course, because I can't use sword and don't like axe that much, but for other reasons too. Her SIGs being one reason. I personally dislike her SIGs, but they aren't bad SIGs, especially for a high-tech legend like Jhala. Sword and SIG is pretty simple, good for catching enemies above you. I can imagine using a gravity cancelled off stage could be a good bait, but mostly for the first reason. It's also one frame with downlight in SIG. A bit difficult to hit, but works pretty well at most damages. Tide SIG I feel like is really risky to use. It hits straight in front of you and has a lot of end lag to it, at least from my experience. But it does have a good amount of force to compensate, so use it cautiously. Down SIG is pretty quick, although it hits pretty low. I think it's a pretty balanced SIG considering the area it hits, but it can be pretty unfair at times. Not OP though. Jhala's axe SIGs, for the most part, actually feel really slow, and I'm dare to say they're some of the worst in the game. Accent SIG I could see working pretty well. I especially like using a gravity cancel coming back onto stage. Although I think there's better picks. Probably not axe side SIG though. I think it's a good SIG, it covers a pretty nice area, but it has a lot of end lag to it. Just like sword side SIG in a way, so still be cautious. Axe down SIG I think is Jhala's best axe SIG. It's pretty quick and hits in a crazy generous area. I never even realized it until I actually looked at it in training because it's nuts. I think it's actually your best axe SIG. But they all in general aren't to be underestimated. Now, I honestly think both of Jhala's weapons are crazy strong, and I honestly can't choose one to say is better. Either will work fine if you decide to main Jhala. Jhala's skins are on and off for me, and she has a decent amount, so let's look at them. God tier has two skins. New School Jhala is, of course, the best one. The Brawl City chest exclusives in general are absolutely stunning. And Sky Scourge I feel like is incredibly underrated. Color swaps look amazing, along with the weapons too. A tier has Queen of Scales, Speed Metal, Gallo Glass Jhala, and Maggie. All very good skins, especially for color swaps, and the face paint on Gallo Glass is awesome. As for Maggie, I honestly never watched The Walking Dead, and I never really plan to. I don't even know who she is in the show, but she feels pretty neat to use in Brawlhalla. Mid-tier has Silver Age Jhala and Finn. Silver Age is just about your average Jhala skin, and honestly, Finn is a controversial pick. I really don't like Finn. It isn't the SIGs or color swaps, but he just feels childish to use. I loved Adventure Time as a kid, actually. I watched it all the time, but Finn is probably my least favorite Adventure Time crossover. I know he's S tier for a lot of people, though. Then Med tier has Orc Raider and Warlord Jhala. Both are unique, but Orc Raider just gives me PTSD because it was my only skin for her for like a year on console. Again, unique, but just on the lower side. Tier list wise, out of SA, B, C, and D, I want to place Jhala in high A tier. Honestly, if Sword and Axe were in a worse spot right now, she'd probably be B tier. She has pretty good SIGs for the most part, and of course, Axe and Sword are S tier right now, since the recent balance patch did almost nothing to solve anything. I just think the thing that makes her not as good of a legend is her stats. Don't get me wrong, being a glass cannon isn't a bad way to go. In fact, I think it can be pretty useful. But I don't know, I feel like her stats don't fit all that well. The type of character she is, it seems like she'd be more of a tank-like legend rather than glass cannon. But hey, if a Winter Huntress with a bow and spear has more armor than a space traveler with a scythe and lance, I'm not allowed to question. Kai was a savior for people, I suppose. She's gone through a lot. We're getting off topic though. Jhala has 7 attack, 7 dex, 3 defense, and 5 speed. It's a good amount of speed and attack, perfect in fact, but the criminally low speed is what makes her a glass cannon. I would have loved to see some dex be taken out in exchange for defense, and maybe like 1 speed, but I guess she'd be S tier, so let's leave it like this. I'd go for defense or attack stance. Defense takes out a dex, which isn't a problem, and attack leaves you at 4 speed, which if you can handle it, isn't a big problem either. Speed takes out a defense, leaving you at 2, which is a big no, and dex is just kinda not that worth it. I guess that's another reason why I don't like Jhala all that much. My first reason was that I'm bad at sword and axe, and they aren't really my type, but her stat combination doesn't really suit me all that well either. Then again, you don't ever see Jhala mains, so I don't hate her I guess. 1.5% is a little under the average, but not too badly. There's much worse anyways. I feel like if I fought her more, then I'd probably have a better opinion, but it's a bit tough to say. Either way, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to give her a try. She isn't the only glass cannon, but she hits super hard. Similar to Thatch, Ada, and Ember in form of stats. Either way, that wraps it up for the Jhala analysis. I'm switching up the formula a little bit, and I'm going to do a legend analysis every other video from now on. So probably 2 to 3 legend analysis per month. Weapon analysis, some filler, and a new series I have in mind, which might just pop up soon. And thanks for watching, feel free to subscribe if you like the content, and of course, keep on brawling.